sky. Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Cześć, dzień dobry, jestem Sky.
Dzień dobry.
And today we are in London because of actually in the US in Germany, but 2 weeks ago I come back just 1 day after I back and the border closed, so I cannot come back to Germany. Maybe when the border reopen, maybe I will come back. But it's good to stay here though.
Yes, I'm glad that you are back. We cannot meet so much because it's coronavirus.
Yeah, we should keep distance.
Yeah, but not today. Today we are together because it's
Such a good weather.
yes,
Because there is not many people, so it's good.
yes. I was expecting more people, but it's a pretty quiet day.
So today, we will talk about something like, because Anna, she has a YouTube channel, and the Brazilian people, they are super interested about Poland. So I want to ask Anna why the Brazilians are super interested about Poland, the reasons and about the history. Because I know your family went to Brazil from Poland, during the Second World War. So.
Yeah. Yeah, not many Polish people know about this, but there is a lot of Polish people who immigrate to Brazil. And after Second World War, people from Europe could immigrate to America. They were offering and inviting people to go to America, to colonize, to start new cities, to work there. And so you could choose if you want to go to USA, to Brazil, or even from Argentina. Many countries were inviting. And actually my grandparents decided to go to USA, but my mother was about to be born. My grandma was pregnant with my mother, and the ship went first to Africa. They were in Germany, and then they went to Africa, and then to Brazil, and the last stop they were making a U.
Oh, it's quite a long street. Oh,
Do you want to wait there, or we just continue?
We can wait.
Yes, because I think it'll be super long. So the ship made a U-turn from Germany. Instead of going directly to USA, they decided to go down first to Africa, South America, and there was no time for my grandparents to get to USA before my mother was born. So they decided to just stay in Brazil because my grandmother was feeling really sick from the pregnancy, and so she did not want to stay in the ship anymore. And it took them 3 months to reach Brazil.
3 months?
3 months. So
That's a lot.
Yeah. So she had enough, and so that's why they decided to stay in Brazil. And there is a very large group of people who emigrate there, not only Polish but also German people, Italians, and so we have
Portuguese? Is there?
Yeah, Portuguese, they were there first. They colonized the country like 500 years before. But after the war, there was not so many Portuguese people that I am aware of, because it were the most affected countries by the war. So the countries like Italy, German, Poland, I guess it was. But we also have some, we have a large Chinese colony, Japanese colony, from Arabic countries. So there's a lot of people who immigrate to South America because they were lying actually to these immigrants that you have a great life and you have a house and you have tools, and it was all a lie. When they get there, they discover that they didn't have anything. They have a piece of land to work, but no house, no anything. So they have a very difficult beginning in Brazil. And now we are now the second and third generations born in Brazil. and people were looking and researching for the origins, so they are trying to learn more about the countries for their personal history. So when I started this channel, I did not knew that there were so many.
I'm thinking maybe end of this year you can get this certificate about the 100,000 this certificate in YouTube. I think.
I hope so. I don't know, but I'm so surprised by that and there is a lot of people now that is interested not only these Brazilians who have personal connections to Poland, but also because Poland is a very cheap country to travel to. We don't use euro here. Yes, so I guess people who never heard about Poland discover my channel and start to show around for friends, like, oh, look, we can go there. It's much cheaper than go to France or to Germany, because
like different cultures.
Yes, Brazilians always dream about traveling. I guess everybody dreams about traveling. But for us, it's very expensive to come to Europe because of euro, and Poland is not so expensive and have these beautiful places. So I guess that's another thing. And also there is now some news about Poland who reach Brazil, and sometimes the news are not very precise, because Polish is such a difficult language and the translation is not perfect, and sometimes people also come to my channel to ask me about some news or some things that are going on the newspapers, and they want to know if that's really what is happening here. So I try sometimes to comment on news, on elections or protests or anything that's going on, to try to help people understand how Polish people are and what they want and how they live. But I think it's a great country, don't you think?
Yes, of course. And I think this country, I feel like there is a lot of similarities between Poland and China too, like cultures.
Yeah.
Or for example, like paper cutting. I don't know, because paper cutting in China is a kind of traditional how do you say that word? Traditional things in China, and but I just know paper cutting is also one of the traditions in Poland. So I'm quite surprising. And also we went to the Polish Revolution, and this city, colorful painting place and balls, and it's this kind of things also one traditional in China too.
Oh.
So a lot of similarities, and also in the past history, Poland was in the communist country, and that moment I hear the communist time is the same, similar in when the China in the communist period time, because on the communist time, the people, if they want to buy the things, they need this paper, not money. They don't have money, and they should have the paper, for special paper for the meat, rice, and everything in the paper. And at the past China in communist time, the same. Also, we need this paper. I heard from my grandparents.
Wow, there is a museum, I don't know if you visit already, in Warsaw about the communist times, and they have these papers, you can see it, they have it framed, it's very interesting, and they used to do some exchange with China on that times, I guess. So they had here available for children some colorful pencils that came from China, and some things that they because they were similar governments, they will exchange things between China and Russia and Poland at that time. So it's very interesting, I guess. And do you think Chinese people are interested in Poland?
I think now more and more interested, because before, I think in my generation, we don't know about Poland much. To be honest, before I came to Poland, I also I think my knowledge is too poor, and so I don't know Poland too much. But after I came to Poland, I just feel such a very interesting country, and they have also long history, and they have a hard time and good time, and it's quite like cultures quite interesting, and this country is also beautiful, and I feel a lot of connection between Poland and China. So
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, I think that most Brazilians don't know anything about Poland actually, but there is a large group of Brazilians that are interested in Poland, but I will not say it's the majority, because we also don't learn anything about Poland in school. We just learn about the war and that Poland was most affected by the war, and that's it. So if you ask about Poland to Brazilians, they will probably say it's a country destroyed by the war, and they never learned about how Poland is not destroyed anymore, how it is a modern country that was rebuilt, how they have these amazing cities. And so most Brazilians think when they try to form an image of Poland in their heads, they will think about a gray, sad, destroyed country. And that's what I'm trying to show with my channel.
so
That's
maybe
not.
this is also one reason why your channel shows them like now Poland is super nice. So one of the reasons they like to watch your channel.
Yes.
Interested in Poland, the history, and now present.
I have many comments of people saying, "No, I will never guess that Poland is now such a nice country. I still have the image of the wartime." So that makes me really happy that I'm showing something that people don't know. And some people even wrote that they decide to travel to Poland in their holidays because of my channel, and that made me so happy, because I think Poland deserves more recognition than Poland gets. And maybe I'm doing something to help this country that I like so much, and that makes me happy.
That's super nice.
Thank you.
So
And I think it's a very important thing that you are doing for showing Poland to Chinese people, as I'm showing to Brazilian.
Yeah.
You are doing the same for China.
actually, my original idea of my create a YouTube channel is like I like different cultures, and I like, because I'm in Poland almost 5 years. I feel like here is my second home. So
Yeah.
because I want to show the different cultures, and I want to show I want to make more Polish know more about China, and I want to let more Chinese know about Poland. I hope both our countries will have good cooperation, especially now China, we have one belt one road strategy, and it's like from China to Europe countries, and the most important country goes through is Poland too.
Oh, amazing.
So I hope our countries can make good cooperation in the
And it's
future.
very interesting that I guess you decided to study more about this, right? The One Belt, One Road. I saw
yeah.
that. So it's very interesting that you can study about, and you can make videos and use your knowledge to make more videos about this cooperation and what is being done. So maybe we can expect videos about your research. That will be super nice.
Yeah, I will try.
I will watch them.
Thank you. And I think after arriving here, I know better and know more and more about Poland and Polish people now. So I feel it's good.
Yeah, and do you think it is how it was for you? Is there a cultural shock when you arrived in Poland, or is more or less similar?
I don't feel many culture shock actually. I feel maybe some different, but not too much. I feel I don't feel like, but maybe some differences, but mostly I feel it's not too culture shock. And how about you?
No, I think it's more about being an open country, like in Brazil, and Poland is not so open, and it's more like
Conservative. No?
yeah, no, not about conservative, but more about the approaching strangers, I
Oh,
guess.
that's true. That's true. Like, not that open. Some people not that open to the foreigners.
Yes, and in Brazil we are just speaking to people we don't know with a lot more intimacy. So if I don't know someone, I can approach and I can ask and I can do stuff. And here in Poland sometimes it's not so common, but it's not an important. It's not a shock, as you said. It's just different. And once you learn and you start to adapt, and you know what they expect from you and what you expect from them, you can easily. It's not a problem for a Brazilian to live here. It's very easy, I guess. And I think for a Chinese too, as you said.
I think, for Chinese, very easy too as well.
It's easy to adapt and to.
I think for like most of people, like for if there is even more different culture shock and differences, I think the most good thing, important thing is to know more, to learn more about their cultures, not to reject, and just to learn to know more. Maybe you will like these things, and then you will adopt it, and there always will be some similarities and differences. So, like every culture is unique. So.
Yes, you are right. And I think if we learn more about other countries, we can all be friends, because most of the conflict is because we don't know.
We don't know each other, so the conflicts happen.
Yes.
So thank you, Anna, for answering the questions why the Brazilians such interested in about the Polish culture and your channel shows. And so today my topic is finished. But if you have any comments or what's more you want to know, maybe you can write down. And also, if you're interested in
thank you for inviting me. My channel is called Mundo para Iniciantes. Unfortunately, it's in Portuguese, so I don't know if most people can understand. But I will be happy to answer if your questions, if you have any. And thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, and Papa.
Papa.